Objective with all of my sports coverage, and listen, Jacy Sheldon objectively should be suspended for this play. I just don't know in what world, in what universe you watch that play back and you go, that was a basketball play. She was trying to make a basketball move, especially with all the angles of...
The voices are getting louder. The frustration is boiling over, and fans across the basketball world are demanding justice. The WNBA community is in full-blown outrage after Jacy Sheldon's vicious hit on Caitlin Clark, a reckless move that many believe could have ended the career of the game's biggest star. Now, fans aren't just angry, they're calling for real consequences. The demand? Major financial penalties for Sheldon. No more letting this slide. The message is clear: protect the players, especially the ones changing the game.
Clearly targeting Caitlin Clark most of this game, and that is, that comes from a function of, she guarded her in one-on-one situations a lot up the court, and then rolled into a lot of doubles in the half court, but there was talking and chirping all game, and for me, it was punctuated by Caitlin Clark's final play before she came out of the game, where she stares Jacy Sheldon down, she essentially demonstrates, she's like, if you poke me in my eye, I will shoot it in yours. And she crosses her, finds the favorite spot, free throw line extended from the logo area, big fuck you 3 to Jacy Sheldon, yells at the Connecticut bench, yells at the crowd. Her and Jacy Sheldon come back together. Caitlin fires up the audience, basically tells Jacy Sheldon, you are a bum.
The outrage is spreading like wildfire across social media and sports forums. Fans are pleading with the WNBA to impose a massive fine on Sheldon, one big enough to finally send a message that if the league refuses to protect its biggest star through proper officiating, then the punishment must be financial and severe. Because if players think they can target Caitlin Clark without consequence, the message being sent is clear: talent doesn't matter, and safety isn't guaranteed. That, fans say, is unacceptable.
Caitlin Clark takes the court, her opponents act like they've been booked for a main event brawl. The WNBA is doing nothing about it. Opponents aren't playing ball. They're strategically ambushing her. They're trying to injure her. Opponents bring chaos. She brings composure. And what Sophie did last night is completely valid. The WNBA has to do something about it.
What was supposed to be just another Tuesday night matchup between the Indiana Fever and Connecticut Sun turned into yet another disturbing episode in the Caitlin Clark saga. Once again, she was targeted like a punching bag while the WNBA stood silent. But this time, it wasn't just rough play. It was blatant, dangerous, and impossible to ignore. Even fans who don't follow the league closely could see it. Sheldon's actions weren't just physical, they were intentional.
Sheldon, there is a legitimate hatred there. If you guys have heard, this Ohio State team, this 2023 Ohio State team, hated that Iowa Sheldon, who was Caitlin Clark's direct matchup in these games. Like I tweeted out, forget Angel, forget Dejanay, this is Caitlin Clark's one true rival.
Jacy Sheldon didn't just commit a foul, she made a statement. During what should have been a routine defensive play, she deliberately poked Caitlin Clark in the eye, risking serious, possibly permanent damage to the league's biggest star. But what truly shocked fans wasn't just the act, it was the malicious grin Sheldon wore afterward, as if proud of what she'd done. Let's be clear, this wasn't basketball. This was personal. A calculated attack on the woman who's done more for the WNBA in one season than most have in a decade.
The thing about that whole Caitlin and Jacy situation last night is it's like on a if you know thing. These two have been running the friendly fade on the court for like the last 4 years. They played in college, had great battles, so I'm not surprised.
If you are enjoying, please subscribe. The sequence of events that followed was equally disturbing. After poking Clark in the eye, Sheldon continued her aggressive behavior by grabbing Clark's arm and digging her nails into her skin, an additional foul that went completely uncalled by the referees. Then, as if the eye poke wasn't enough, Marina Mabry joined the attack by shoving Clark to the ground from behind while she was still recoiling from the initial injury.
Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna be me. I don't go in there trying to predetermine anything. I'm dialed in. I need to focus on hitting my shots, making sure I'm executing the schemes right. I'm not focused on the extracurricular activities. And you know what? During that, it was just part of the game. I think the refs had a lot to do with that. It was a build up for a couple of years now of them just not protecting, the star player of the WNBA. And so at the end of the day, I'm going to protect my teammates. That's what I do. And I'm a team player. So It's all good.
The backlash was instant and overwhelming. Within hours of Sheldon's cheap shot, social media erupted, reflecting years of pent-up frustration from fans who've watched Caitlin Clark get targeted again and again with no real consequences. The incident lit a fire online. Calls for serious punishment flooded the platforms, everything from hefty fines to full season suspensions. One hashtag surged across Twitter/X and TikTok, hashtag Jacy Sheldon. And it didn't stop there. Sheldon's Instagram was bombarded with thousands of angry comments. Fans didn't hold back, unprofessional, jealous. She doesn't belong in the WNBA.
Behind or from the side, it's so obvious that she straight up leapt out towards Caitlin and got her right in the eye. And the more I try and watch it back and you try to be objective, there is no world where this was a basketball play. And yes, she was playing tough defense on Caitlin up until that, but she leapt forward, and it's not like it's defensible where you can say she tried to get the ball, because her hand at that point was so far away from where the ball was. It's not like Caitlin was dribbling the ball up near her face. How she was not ejected for this, I don't know. The broadcast was talking about it, and that's why Sophie Cunningham even had the opportunity to hard foul her at the end. I don't know what you do, but the league's got to do something.
Even mainstream media couldn't stay silent this time. On The Tonight Show, Jimmy Fallon used his national platform to call out the WNBA directly. What is going on in the WNBA? Protect Caitlin Clark at all costs. Please, enough of this, please. When late-night hosts are pleading for player safety, you know the issue has exploded beyond basketball, and Dave Portnoy of Barstool Sports didn't hold back either. He slammed Sheldon and others as jealous loser punks, adding they should go play in a rec league where no one cares about you. Brutal, honest, viral. This kind of attention is the last thing the WNBA wants, but it's exactly what they're getting. Mainstream backlash exposing the league's failure to protect its biggest star, and fans? They're not just angry.
Fighting, he thought they meant the WNBA. What is going on? Protect Caitlin Clark at all costs, please. Enough of this. Please.
Bring Caitlin Clark to the NBA right now, because the refs ain't gonna protect her. She only got one teammate, and that's her, who gonna do something about it. Like, yo, yesterday, that's malice in the palace activity. Call for it. That y'all should have been throwing hands all over the place. How do you get poked in the eye, then get thrown to the ground, and then you receive a technical foul? And don't none of your teammates want to step up, fight, squabble, none of that. They just looking like, yo, it's been, we know that y'all been targeting Caitlin Clark now. Now, I'm even watching, I'm like, hold on, what? Like, how are y'all letting this happen? How are y'all not protecting this girl? Now, she clearly is a superstar, right? But there's plenty superstars in the WNBA, and don't none of them get treated the way Caitlin Clark get treated. Now, y'all gonna mess up and ruin the whole numbers, your ratings, your all that, if y'all don't have Caitlin Clark in y'all's league. So y'all better start acting right. I'm telling you.